This is not a drill. Just moments ago, Stellantis CEO Carlos Tavares made a jaw-dropping announcement that's sending shockwaves through the entire auto industry. Jeep, yes, the legendary American off-road brand, is officially shutting down major operations. From Detroit to Toledo, people are stunned. Jeep, a symbol of rugged American freedom for over 80 years, might be facing its final chapter. Just 1 minute ago, Stellantis confirmed what everyone feared. The company will be phasing out Jeep operations in key markets and restructuring its US manufacturing footprint. Translation, factory closures, job cuts, entire model lineups being discontinued, and the CEO's words were chilling. Tavares said, "The Jeep brand must evolve or be left behind." But what he really meant was, Jeep can't survive the electric future Stellantis tried to build. Let's be honest, this didn't happen overnight. Jeep's downfall has been brewing for years. Sales of their once dominant SUVs like the Grand Cherokee and Wrangler have plunged. Customers are fed up with rising prices, outdated interiors, and falling reliability scores. But the real dagger, Stellantis' global cost-cutting obsession. Tavares pushed for efficiency at all costs, even if it meant gutting the core of what made Jeep special. The brand that once stood for adventure turned into a corporate spreadsheet casualty. Narrator: when the world went electric, Jeep was caught completely off guard. Stellantis promised a full electric lineup by 2030, but delays, battery shortages, and failed prototypes derailed everything. The Jeep Recon EV and Wagoneer S were supposed to lead the revolution, but both were plagued by cost overruns, software glitches, and poor early reviews. And when Tesla, Rivian, and even Ford started dominating the EV SUV segment, Jeep simply couldn't compete. Instead of innovation, Stellantis gave us confusion, countless overlapping brands, canceled models, and no clear identity for Jeep. Narrator: and behind the scenes, the financial picture is even worse. Stellantis has been bleeding cash from its US operations. The Jeep division alone reportedly lost hundreds of millions in the past year. Europe's tightening emission laws, combined with plummeting sales in North America, forced Stellantis to make a brutal decision: cut Jeep loose before it drags down the entire company. The company that once bragged about record profits in 2022 is now fighting for survival. Suppliers are pulling back, dealerships are panicking, and workers are demanding answers. Let's be clear, this isn't just another corporate move. This is a massive blow to America's manufacturing heartland. Jeep isn't just a brand, it's a piece of American identity. From WW2 battlefields to suburban driveways, it's been part of US culture for nearly a century. Now, thousands of workers across Michigan, Ohio, and Illinois are facing layoffs. Towns that depend on Jeep plants could lose everything: their jobs, their businesses, their sense of pride. And the worst part, this might just be the beginning. The Jeep closure sends ripples far beyond America's borders. Stellantis is bracing for backlash from dealers in Europe, where Jeep had recently tried to expand with models like the Avenger EV. That dream dead on arrival. Meanwhile, in Asia and South America, markets are collapsing as Stellantis slashes exports and pulls back funding. Competitors like Toyota, BYD, and Hyundai are already circling, ready to fill the void Jeep is leaving behind. Toyota's Land Cruiser 250, Ford's Bronco, and even Chinese EV startups are moving fast, claiming Jeep's market share like vultures on a carcass. Ford's Bronco revival suddenly looks genius. It's now the default choice for off-road lovers. Toyota's global reliability reputation only getting stronger, and Rivian's R2, the electric off-roader Jeep should have built, is stealing headlines and pre-orders. Meanwhile, Stellantis is scrambling to explain how it let one of America's most iconic brands fade into history. Auto analysts are calling it the biggest brand implosion since Pontiac. Experts are warning that Stellantis' mismanagement could trigger a domino effect across its other brands: Dodge, Chrysler, Ram, even Alfa Romeo. And investors? They're furious. Stellantis stock has nosedived since the news broke, and shareholders are demanding accountability. Jeep's death isn't just a corporate failure, it's a cultural tragedy. So what happens now? Will Jeep be sold off to another automaker? Will Stellantis attempt a desperate rebrand or a full liquidation? Whispers inside the company suggest that a foreign buyer might already be in talks to acquire what's left of the Jeep name. Sources close to Stellantis are hinting at secret negotiations, with Asian automakers and even a few private equity groups eyeing what's left of Jeep's global IP, factories, and trademarks. Some insiders claim that BYD, Great Wall Motors, and even a Japanese automaker have shown interest. Why? Because Jeep still carries one thing money can't buy: brand power. Even in crisis, Jeep still means something to millions of drivers worldwide. But make no mistake, whoever takes over Jeep won't be inheriting the old legacy. They'll be inheriting a brand in ruins, buried under mismanagement, corporate greed, and decades of lost innovation. Behind closed doors, things are chaotic. Multiple Stellantis executives have reportedly clashed over Jeep's fate. Some pushed for government intervention, a bailout even, while others argued the brand was beyond saving. Tavares, known for his ruthless cost-cutting, ultimately sided with the accountants. He chose numbers over nostalgia, but that decision has ignited fury among employees and dealers who feel betrayed. Union leaders are calling this a stab in the back, accusing Stellantis of abandoning American workers for European profits. Some are even demanding congressional investigations into how the automaker handled federal subsidies for EV development. And the political fallout is just beginning. Lawmakers from Michigan, Ohio, and Indiana are already blasting Stellantis for what they call a corporate betrayal of American industry. Expect heated hearings in Washington. Expect campaign ads about saving American jobs. From soldiers in World War II to modern adventure seekers, Jeep represented resilience, freedom, and pride. And now, its downfall has become a symbol of everything wrong with corporate globalization and the electric transition. And here's where it gets darker. Industry analysts warn that this Jeep collapse could trigger a chain reaction inside Stellantis. Dodge sales are slipping, Chrysler barely exists, and Ram's electric truck rollout has been delayed again and again. If Jeep couldn't survive, what happens to them? There's talk that Stellantis might exit the US market entirely within a few years, focusing on its European and Chinese operations instead. Imagine that. One of the biggest automakers in the world abandoning the very country that made its brands legendary. Across the US, Jeep dealerships are in turmoil. Some are liquidating inventory, others are refusing to take new vehicles. Customers are canceling orders, fearing that warranties and parts support could vanish overnight. One dealer in Texas told reporters, "We found out on social media before Stellantis even called us." Another said they're preparing to switch brands entirely, partnering with Ford or Toyota just to survive. This is the kind of chaos we haven't seen since the collapse of Saturn, Saab, or Oldsmobile. But the difference is, Jeep was still a major player. Social media is exploding with emotion. Jeep owners posting farewell videos, mechanics sharing stories of the first Jeeps they fixed, and off-road communities mourning the loss of a lifestyle, not just a brand. One viral post summed it up perfectly. First Pontiac, now Jeep, what's next? America's identity. It's more than nostalgia, it's heartbreak. Because Jeep wasn't just sold, it was trusted. As Stellantis implodes, competitors are wasting no time. Toyota's expanding its Land Cruiser lineup across every continent. BYD just unveiled an electric off-roader priced far below the Wrangler EV's original sticker. Even Hyundai's Ioniq X SUV is being marketed as the new adventure vehicle. These brands aren't just taking customers, they're taking Jeep's spirit. The off-road crown Jeep once wore proudly, it's slipping fast and may soon belong to someone else entirely. Think about it. A brand that helped win World War II, that defined post-war adventure, that inspired generations to go anywhere, do anything. Now it's a casualty of mismanagement and misplaced priorities. What happens when a brand built on freedom dies in the name of efficiency? And yet, insiders claim this story isn't over. There are whispers, bold, risky plans being discussed behind closed doors. Sources say Stellantis is exploring a last-ditch effort to salvage the Jeep name, possibly by turning it into a fully electric, global-only brand, cutting all US manufacturing and drastically reducing models. The idea? Keep the logo alive, but strip away everything that made it Jeep in the first place. The rugged build, the off-road soul, the unmistakable Wrangler silhouette. If this happens, longtime fans warn it could backfire spectacularly, turning the brand into nothing more than a hollow symbol, sold in glossy ads but disconnected from the real Jeep experience. Meanwhile, rumors inside the company suggest that major layoffs could hit not just assembly lines but engineering teams as well. Some sources claim that entire research and development projects have been frozen or scrapped, leaving the next generation of vehicles in jeopardy. Engineers who once prided themselves on pushing Jeep's off-road capabilities are reportedly leaving in droves, some already signing with competitors eager to preserve the legacy Stellantis seems ready to abandon. On social media, media, Jeep owners, and off-road enthusiasts are organizing, launching petitions, and even threatening legal action over warranties and future service. Forums are filled with posts lamenting the end of an era, with hashtags like #FarkSaveJeep and Jeep Forever trending within minutes. The community that made Jeep more than just a brand is rallying, and the world is watching closely to see if Stellantis will listen, or if it will double down on its decision. Dealerships are also scrambling. Many are reducing inventory, refusing new orders, and preparing for a rush of cancellations. Some dealers have started contacting rival automakers for emergency partnerships, while others are holding town hall-style meetings with employees to prepare them for imminent closures. One dealership owner in Michigan told local news, "We were the heartbeat of this community. Jeep was more than cars. It was identity, livelihood, pride. Now everything's up in the air." Internationally, Jeep's withdrawal from certain markets is creating opportunities for competitors to swoop in aggressively. Toyota, Hyundai, BYD, and even some lesser-known Chinese EV startups are seeing this as the perfect moment to grab market share. Analysts predict that in regions like Europe and South America, Jeep could be replaced entirely within a few short years, erasing decades of brand recognition and loyalty. Stellantis may have underestimated how quickly the global auto market reacts to a vacuum. Inside Stellantis, tensions are reportedly skyrocketing. Board members are divided, with some calling the Jeep closure a necessary evolution, while others warn it could destroy the company's credibility in North America forever. Executives are facing mounting pressure from investors demanding immediate returns, while governments and unions demand accountability and protection for thousands of displaced workers. The stakes are higher than ever, and the fallout could reshape the US auto industry for decades. The uncertainty is fueling speculation about what comes next. Some industry insiders suggest Stellantis might attempt a brand reboot, selling Jeep exclusively as a premium EV line, but with manufacturing shifted entirely to Europe or China. Others believe the company could liquidate the brand altogether, selling off patents, designs, and even the name to the highest bidder. Either way, the Jeep we know, the Wrangler crawling over rocky trails, the Grand Cherokee navigating snowy back roads, may soon exist only in memory. Meanwhile, employees across the US are bracing for the worst. Former engineers, assembly line workers, and even dealership staff are reportedly seeking alternative employment, refusing new orders, and preparing for a rush of cancellations. Some dealers have started contacting rival automakers for emergency partnerships, while others are holding town hall-style meetings with employees to prepare them for imminent closures. One dealership owner in Michigan told local news, "We were the heartbeat of this community. Jeep was more than cars. It was identity, livelihood, pride. Now everything's up in the air." Internationally, Jeep's withdrawal from certain markets is creating opportunities for competitors to swoop in aggressively. Toyota, Hyundai, BYD, and even some lesser-known Chinese EV startups are seeing this as the perfect moment to grab market share. Analysts predict that in regions like Europe and South America, Jeep could be replaced entirely within a few short years, erasing decades of brand recognition and loyalty. Stellantis may have underestimated how quickly the global auto market reacts to a vacuum. Inside Stellantis, tensions are reportedly skyrocketing. Board members are divided, with some calling the Jeep closure a necessary evolution, while others warn it could destroy the company's credibility in North America forever. Executives are facing mounting pressure from investors demanding immediate returns, while governments and unions demand accountability and protection for thousands of displaced workers. The stakes are higher than ever, and the fallout could reshape the US auto industry for decades. The uncertainty is fueling speculation about what comes next. Some industry insiders suggest Stellantis might attempt a brand reboot, selling Jeep exclusively as a premium EV line, but with manufacturing shifted entirely to Europe or China. Others believe the company could liquidate the brand altogether, selling off patents, designs, and even the name to the highest bidder. Either way, the Jeep we know, the Wrangler crawling over rocky trails, the Grand Cherokee navigating snowy back roads, may soon exist only in memory. Meanwhile, employees across the US are bracing for the worst. Former engineers, assembly line workers, and even dealership staff are reportedly seeking alternative employment, with some already moving to competitors like Ford, Toyota, and Rivian. Communities that once thrived around Jeep plants face looming economic collapse. Local suppliers, restaurants, and small businesses dependent on the automaker's workforce are staring at a grim reality. Public backlash is mounting. Political leaders from Michigan, Ohio, and Indiana are calling emergency hearings to investigate Stellantis' decision, accusing the company of abandoning American workers and heritage for global profits. Social media campaigns are gaining momentum, with Jeep fans posting everything from heartfelt tributes to aggressive calls for boycotts of Stellantis products. The cultural weight of Jeep's collapse has made this more than just a business story. It's becoming a national debate about identity, manufacturing, and the future of American industry. Globally, competitors are circling like predators sensing opportunity. Toyota is aggressively pushing its Land Cruiser and electric SUV lineups. BYD is expanding into the US with new EV off-road models priced aggressively to lure Jeep's traditional customer base. Even startups like Rivian are positioning themselves as the new leaders of the adventure SUV market. The scramble for Jeep's market share has already begun, and Stellantis risks watching decades of brand loyalty evaporate overnight. Analysts warn that this could trigger a domino effect across Stellantis' portfolio. Dodge, Ram, and Chrysler are all under scrutiny, with investors concerned that similar decisions could be made if these brands fail to adapt to the EV revolution. Stellantis' gamble to cut Jeep loose could either stabilize the company financially or accelerate a crisis that sees the American arm of the automaker shrink dramatically over the next few years. In the middle of this chaos, whispers of secret deals continue to circulate. Foreign automakers, investment groups, and even tech companies are reportedly in talks to acquire parts of Jeep, whether it's the intellectual property, the production facilities, or the brand name itself. These negotiations are shrouded in secrecy, but insiders suggest a decision could come within months, potentially reshaping the global auto landscape forever. The tension inside Stellantis is palpable. Some executives are reportedly pushing for a quick sale to a foreign buyer, arguing that salvaging whatever value remains in Jeep is better than watching the brand deteriorate further. Others are resisting, warning that handing Jeep to an overseas company would be seen as a betrayal of the American workforce and heritage. The debates are intense, with every decision carrying potentially massive financial and reputational consequences. Meanwhile, dealerships across the country are preparing for the fallout. Some are stockpiling parts and service supplies, anticipating a surge in repairs as owners cling to their vehicles. Others are scrambling to diversify their offerings, partnering with rival brands to survive the sudden void Jeep's closure will create. Across social media, customers are voicing frustration, confusion, and fear, especially those who just purchased new Jeeps or had pre-orders for upcoming models. Warranty concerns and support for EV models have become lightning rods for anger and anxiety. Internationally, Jeep's retreat is already creating opportunities. European and Asian automakers are ramping up marketing campaigns targeting former Jeep customers, while new electric off-road competitors are positioning themselves as the true successors to Jeep's adventurous spirit. Analysts predict that in regions like Europe, China, and South America, Jeep could vanish from showrooms entirely within a few years, replaced by brands that were once considered niche or secondary. At the same time, the US political reaction is heating up. Lawmakers are demanding transparency from Stellantis, calling for hearings to examine why a historic American brand is being dismantled. Labor unions are mobilizing, organizing rallies and legal challenges to fight the mass layoffs expected to hit factories, dealerships, and supplier networks. The national conversation has shifted from business strategy to a broader debate over American manufacturing, globalization, and the future of the auto industry. Behind the scenes, whispers of contingency plans are spreading. Stellantis may attempt a leaner, electrified Jeep brand focused solely on global markets, or it may dismantle the brand entirely, auctioning off intellectual property, trademarks, and facilities to foreign investors. Meanwhile, insiders suggest the company is weighing a heritage brand strategy, keeping the Jeep name alive in limited fashion, while shifting the bulk of its operations and profits overseas. The question is whether such a plan would be seen as clever strategy or cultural betrayal. For Jeep enthusiasts, employees, and the industry at large, the clock is ticking. Every day without a clear roadmap intensifies the uncertainty. Suppliers worry about contracts and deliveries. Engineers wonder if their projects will be canceled, and customers fear their vehicles might soon become unsupported relics. In a matter of weeks, the decisions Stellantis makes could not only define the fate of Jeep, but also set the tone for how American automakers handle the EV transition and global competition in the years to come. And while Stellantis Stellantis wrestles with these high-stakes decisions behind closed doors, the public fallout is intensifying. Social media platforms are flooded with tributes to Jeep's legacy, vintage Wrangler off-road clips, family road trip photos, and historic military footage. Fans are not just mourning a brand, they're mourning a symbol of adventure, freedom, and American ingenuity. Hashtags like Tar Your Jeep Forever and Hiring Save Jeep are trending, while YouTube channels, automotive forums, and blogs are exploding with speculation about who might swoop in to save the brand, or if it's already too late. Dealers are feeling the pressure on the front lines. Some have started organizing emergency meetings with suppliers and alternative manufacturers, preparing to pivot their businesses if Jeep disappears completely. Others are scrambling to reassure customers, promising to honor warranties and support vehicles as long as possible. But uncertainty is taking its toll, and many fear a mass exodus of loyal customers who will turn to Ford, Toyota, Rivian, or other competitors for their next off-road adventure.